to have not played so far. All we can say is that Yuto MURAMATSU is a defensive player. Great to see so many defensive players once again in professional table tennis. Defense really has been reborn. His compatriot Masato Shiono doing a fine job as well. Late starter at 27 years. The defensive player from Japan, now part of the Japanese team. Let's see how the youngster deals with the pressure here. His first time at the quarter-final stage of a Super Series tournament. It's a best-of-7 game, ladies and gentlemen. CHIANG Chieh to serve. Very quick on his feet. That much is certain. That defensive chop way too high bouncing. So we can see he switches the side of the racket. Plays a pimples rubber on one. And a spinny pimples inside rubber on the other. We'll use both to defend. The pimples rubber gives him the advantage of being not immune, but very safe against the spin of the opponent. Turning it around, bringing the topspin back as backspin. It's very difficult, if not impossible, especially with long pimples, to create spin yourself. You are, in that way, reliant on your opponent. Good start for the 17-year-old. 7-3 already. And you can see the effect that these constant switching of the rubbers has on CHIANG. Once there's very heavy backspin on the chop, once there's none at all. As a player, you do have to realize this and see this early enough to change the stroke you're planning to do. 9-3, 2 points to go for his first game. 7 game points, Yuto MURAMATSU. And he's used it, no questions asked. After only a few minutes of game time, already 11-4, 1-0, the lead for the young Japanese player. That was a quick first game. The second game commencing now. Can Yuto MURAMATSU continue this very versatile defensive play? So far, CHIANG really has problems in reading the spin. He seemed surprised at any step, as we see here. Very rarely has the right angle to begin with. Needs to adjust just before a stroke, as he does here with the top spin. That was maybe the opportunity for a forehand top spin. MURAMATSU went in with a backhand regardless. And if you're wondering why CHIANG lifts these shots up, when you play heavy topspin and the defender chops, there's so much backspin on the ball that you need to lift it just to reach over the net. And when you overestimate the backspin, you lift it too high, and that is the clear opportunity for a defensive player to attack. MURAMATSU is doing a really fine job at the moment. Five to 2, huge lead already in the second game. That was again the chop. Very, very little spin on the ball. That is so difficult to see for the opponent, especially since you only have fractions of a second to react anyway. Fantastic attack as well. Eight, 5. Chieh looking on his racket for answers. So far there are none. His game plan so far is to play short to force his opponent to stay close to the table. Once the push goes a bit too long, to attack with a fast forehand topspin. Not successful at all so far. Well, that was a perfect backhand, really. This time he's read the spin correctly. Nonetheless, game points, 3 in a row to Yuto MURAMATSU from Japan. With this ferocious smash, he scores and secures the second game for him. 11-7, 2-0, his lead. First point of this third game already to MURAMATSU. Perfect. Really, that is how you play against defense. Not only switch the side from left hand to forehand, but also move your opponent towards and back from the table. That is much more difficult for a defensive player too, rather than move left to right, which is what he's expecting anyway. Seems to have now found a good standing. Player from Chinese Taipei. There we have evidence for that once again. Misjudging the spin on the chop completely. Look at that. Lifts it because he thought there was so much backspin on there, which wasn't the case. And 2 points in a row to his opponent, who's now off to once again a quite comfortable early lead in the third. So far in the 2 quarterfinals we've seen there always was a 3-0 lead for one player. And with this incredible service error, that ball did never land on the table. it looks like we might see another 3-0 lead. Nine to 3. And 7 game points yet again for Yuto MURAMATSU. Takes the first one already. What a performance by the 17-year-old. He's up 3-0. Both players returning from the coaching break. Seems to have been a lot to discuss for the Chinese player Chieh so far. Let's say it outclassed against Yuto MURAMATSU. Maybe this third game here will bring him back into this match. So far, of all the 3-0 leads we've seen, the fourth game was always won by the opposing player. Interestingly enough, though, none of the matches were won by the opposing player. Four to 3. And he's doing everything right at the moment, this 17-year-old player from Japan. First time we've seen him in the men's singles competition so far, so well into a World Tour tournament. We've been reading and hearing quite a lot about this young, talented defensive player, and really, rumor seems to be true for once. He's way more aggressive than most, let's say 90% of the defensive players on the World Tour. He's fast, and when the opportunity presents, he will attack like he does here. Immediately senses that he needs to move back towards the table. And Chiang Hongqie is having tremendous problems still in reading the spin. That's why his coach is calling a timeout here, sort of an emergency break. To try and bring him back into the match. Timeout over and gone for the player from Chinese Taipei. Let's see if he can pull himself out of this and maybe at least win this fourth game. Clever serve, bit of an upspin serve that was difficult to see for the opponent. So impressive, the performance of Yuto Muramatsu. Seven to 9, 2 points to go. Chiang now needs to score badly. Has no more room to maneuver in. This is all or nothing now, these next few points. Oh, that was way too easy. Bad serve. Match points to Yuto Muramatsu. Looks like we will be seeing him in the semifinals tomorrow. And that is the case. That was an outstanding performance by the 17-year-old. The first time I've seen him on an international level, and it was really, really impressive. This is someone for sure to keep an eye out in the future. He'll have a bright future ahead of him, I'm sure. Congratulations nonetheless to the 25-year-old Chiang Hongqie. Reaching the semifinals was his biggest career success so far, and he's played a fine tournament. But all the more credit to his opponent, Yuto Muramatsu. He will be in the semis tomorrow. That was a fantastic match, setting the mood for the final match of today, the men's singles quarterfinals match number 2. And it is Hong Kong, China versus Italia. We'll have Wang Chunting and Mihai Bobocica from Italy facing off in a few moments.